Goomy! What is up, guys? Steven here, and today I'm going to bring you my week 2 game of LTPL. So, I ended up playing Roses, and this team that I'm using, I didn't make. The reason is that I wasn't supposed to play this week. Basically, Tony wanted everyone on the team to get some chances to play in the early weeks, so Dangerous 36M, aka Rick, was in the starting lineup, and I was fine with that, and this is the team that they had prepared, but then Rick unfortunately got really sick. That rhymed. And so at the last minute they're kind of like, Steven, can you play? Even though I had a super busy week, and ironically I was with my girlfriend at the time, but I was like, yeah, and she was like, yeah, it's fine. So shout outs to her. So I played this game, and unfortunately I faced stall. So yeah, looking at this matchup, it's pretty menacing. I do have Leopard for Bronzor, which is pretty helpful in general. Like, Leopard is going to put in some work because I can just fire off knockoffs, and the only thing that really wants to switch in is Audino, and if you Mega Evolve, you get rid of your regen, which just kind of helps you to pressure the team. So, yeah, let's just get right into it. Leopard and Vileplume are definitely the most useful members, and I am just gonna lead Vileplume as he actually leads with Skuntank, and I'm just gonna switch into Hariyama on the Skuntank because it's a reliable switch in, and again I get knockoff pressure, so I'm just gonna knock off, actually get a crit, which is pretty neat as he Toxics me, and now I'm on a timer. I close combat there because I just really expected Audino to come in there for some reason, even though that's a really risky, unnecessary play. So I'm just going to switch in right on the Altaria. And at this point, free rocks. There is no Xatu. Instead of Stone Edge, because I'm a menace, and now I get up rocks as he does Will-O-Wisp, which I didn't really expect because I had Xatu. But now I can go Xatu, and I actually do bounce the Wisp, which tells me he's like either he's Heal Bell on Altaria or on Audino for sure. So I'm just gonna call mine because it puts in work against this team with Bronzor low, and I can do damage to this Skuntank for sure. Because I will bounce back the evasion boost, so I can't miss Heat Wave. And unfortunately, I'm not Giga Drain on this Xatu, and he's Clear Smog on his Gastrodon, which it really sucks, honestly. So I have to go into Plumer, and fortunately I do not get burned. Plume does put some pressure on his team, so he's just gonna Bronzor, but since I knocked off the Eviolite and got that crit, this is a 2-hit KO, but he does want to save it, which I can appreciate. I just want to hit Sleep Powder so that I can keep the thing burned, but unfortunately I miss. So that'll happen, but I do get the poison this turn, which is kind of nice just to whittle this, and I switch into Rhydon, predicting Skuntank here, and I'm pretty sure I just get rocks. I'll actually double into Yama, which is fine because I get another free knockoff, and yeah, facing stall, like I'm just trying to find a way to break it, as he actually sacks his Bronzor, which is nice. If it was rest, it could have rested back up and been menacing. The problem is that, like, my best answer to his team is probably Klinklang, but he has Gastro, which just completely hard stops that. So yeah, I just have to play really aggressively, so I'm just gonna switch into Liepard there on the Flamethrower. Fortunately I don't get burned, and I can just fire off a knockoff as he roosts, which is fine. So I'm just gonna go straight into Plumer because Flamethrower doesn't really do much of anything, and I just want to, potentially get a Sludge Bomb poison on this and just put pressure on his team. So I actually hit my sleep powder, and I can just moonlight now. And Altaria comes in again as I go Liepard, which is just unfortunate. I have to U-turn back out. Go into Xatu because it pressures his team and he burns me with Flamethrower. So at this point, like, my whole team is getting whittled, barring Klinklang, which, like I said, is just completely hard stopped by Gastro. So I'm in a pretty bad situation. As he actually has Haze on this too. So Calm Mind Xatu is not gonna be winning this game. The reason I want to keep it around is it really does do well against that Gourgeist, which is pretty menacing. I just go Plumer here. Unfortunately, don't get burned with this, as he's just gonna Flamethrower again. I'm gonna Sludge Bomb and don't get the poison. And I'm basically forced to heal here, as he's doing good chunks and not getting burns. But I actually Sludge Bomb. So now Vileplume is low, but I Sludge Bomb because I wanted to get the poison, and I also figured really any situation I can come in on Gastro and heal. So now I'm forced to switch. I go into Klinklang, expecting the roost, and that's what happens. So I just shift gears straight away. I'm kind of like playing pretty aggressively at this point, because I think that Gastro is low enough that I can put in work, and he can't really afford to let me set up again. So that's why I just attack and kill him, and then this return just does minimal damage. And Scald obviously like would have broken a sub, and I get the same roll again, and unfortunately it's not enough. So I'm kind of in a interesting situation. I returned again there because I expected another recover, and I wanted to get more lefties. That works out. So he Scalds into Plume, doesn't burn yet again, which is just super crucial at this point. The game would have been a lot easier if I had hit that first Sleep Powder on Audino, and I really just need to keep hitting Sleep Powders at crucial times. So that Fire Blast does a lot, but I can just Moonlight back up to a reasonable chunk, and I'm just going to go into Yama because it kind of forces him to make a prediction here. I mean, he can protect this turn for sure to scout what I wanted to do, and I click Close Combat. And I'm honestly just gonna do it again, as it does a respectable chunk, and he can just toss up a Wish because that thing is just strong. But that does allow me to get Plumer in again, and I hit Sleep Powder this time, which is just really neat. I still have all 6 of my members. Plume is definitely still the most viable. So I actually hit the Skuntank for the first time in the game, or the first time in a while, and it's kind of at this point that I remembered that he has Black Sludge, how much of a problem that is, because I can't just whittle him with like hazards and stuff, and nothing on my team really like hits it that hard, barring Rhydon, which is burned of course, but I am just gonna go Sakiyama, because I just needed to regain the momentum a little bit and go into Liepard because I can fire out a really hot banded U-turn. And at this point I just want to get at my hazards. So that's what I do, because I'm just pressuring his entire team. And Plume is like really obvious, but that is what I go into, and he finally does get the burn, which really sucks for me. I double into Liepard here, expecting Skuntank, and this is kind of like the play of the game. So like the last move that was used was Scald, and like even though we both then switched, I can copycat that Scald. So instead of just knocking out for U-turning, I go for the burn, because if I get it, I just win. And fortunately, I do get the burn. So at this point, the game seems really in hand. It's gonna go. I went Klinklang expecting maybe the Audino, but I can just go directly into Plume on Gastrodon, so that's fine as well. As Gourgeist comes in, Giga Drain does actually a pretty respectable amount. I'm a little nervous about like some weird Destiny bond or something, but I am just gonna Sludge Bomb, and I get a crit, which didn't matter at all. As Skuntank will come back in, and he doubles into Autono, but I just go into Kling Klang because I figured if he doubled, then this works, and if he sacks, then that works as well, because now every time he wants to double into Skuntank on Vileplume from this, he takes burn damage. Like right here, I mean, I took burn damage too, but his Skuntank is pretty much the most menacing thing. As this time I go Liepard, and I hit the U-turn to go straight into Kling Klang, as he actually gets the first turn Wake and Wishes. But he goes into Gastrodon instead of protecting and all of that, which I can understand, but I can just go Plume at this point, and I'm just gonna heal because I'm low, and at this point the game is feeling pretty comfortable. Hitting a Sleep Powder on the Autono will be pretty crucial. I dodge a Fire Blast, which doesn't really matter because I would have lived anyway, so like just living was nice. And I'm just kind of slowly but surely breaking him. I go for a return there, kind of expecting Skuntank to come back in, which doesn't happen, but that's fine. I knew that I could afford to go for it once. As Plume comes back in again, he's just gonna go Autono, and this is what I was referring to earlier in the game, where if I hit this Sleep Powder, I just win, and I do hit it, which is just pretty neat, as I can just Sludge Bomb. I get a crit, which didn't matter, and at this point, the only thing he really can do is nothing. I just go into Rhydon on the Skuntank, because I figure if he double switches, then I get a Brox, which means that Giga Drain will kill the Skuntank after burn and rocks damage. They get another crit, which does not matter at all, as Gastrodon will come in, and obviously Giga Drain wins. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a team that I was like super comfortable with. Like I said, I was just kind of thrown in at the last second, and had to play stall. I think the play of the game was definitely Scald burning the Skuntank, because it just punished him for making all of those double switches just 6% at a time, and eventually I was able to break him. Also critting the Bronzor like turn 2 or something like that was really nice, as I was able to do a nice chunk to that and kind of prevent it from being a menace to my Vileplume throughout the game. So yeah guys, if you like this video, drop a like, drop a comment, they're greatly appreciated. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.